The passenger pigeon, or wild pigeon, is an extinct species of pigeon that was located in North America. Its common name is derived from the French word passager, meaning passing by, due to the migratory habits of the species. Pigeon meat was commercialized as cheap food, resulting in hunting on a massive scale for many decades. Martha, thought to be the last passenger pigeon, died September 1st, 1914, at the Cincinnati Zoo. People ate passenger pigeons in huge amounts, but they were also killed because they were perceived as a threat to agriculture. As Europeans migrated across North America, they thinned out and eliminated the large forests that the pigeons depended on. The pigeons lived primarily on acorns. The Carolina parakeet, or Carolina conure, is an extinct species of small green neotropical parrot with a bright yellow head, reddish-orange face, and a pale beak, native to the eastern Midwest and Plains states of the United States. The Carolina parakeet is believed to have died out because of a number of different threats. To make space for more agriculture land, large areas of forest were cut down, taking away its habitat. It was not until 1939 the American Ornithologists Union declared that the Carolina parakeet had become extinct. The IUCN has listed the species as extinct since 1920. However, we now have the capabilities to bring the species back. Using the Gendea as a surrogate species, we hope to successfully reintroduce the Carolina parakeet to the eastern United States. The great auk is a species of flightless alcid that became extinct in the mid-19th century. It was the only modern species in the genus Pinguinus. It is not closely related to the birds now known as penguins, which were discovered later and so named by sailors because of their physical resemblance to the great auk. For 3 days, the sailors kept the great auk alive, but on the 4th, during a terrible storm, the sailors grew fearful and superstitious, condemning it as a maelstrom conjuring a witch. They stoned it to death. It was the last of its kind ever to be seen on the British Isles. Excessive hunting was the main reason this bird went extinct. The Labrador duck was a North American bird. It has the distinction of being the first endemic North American bird species to become extinct after the Columbian Exchange, with the last known sighting occurring in 1878 in Elmira, New York. The Labrador ducks went extinct due to food shortages, little to no shellfish, and crustaceans, which are the main duck's food. Hunting was most likely not the case, as the duck tasted horribly and would rot quickly. They had very unusual bills, widened and flattened at the tip with many lamellae inside, and softer than most duckbills. The species was eventually quite rare even upon European settlement. Nothing known of nesting habits. Was thought to have nested in Labrador, but nests were never found. The laughing owl became extinct in the early 20th century. The last known bird was one found dead on a road at Blue Cliff Station near Timaru in 1914. The species had succumbed to the clearance of its habitat to create farms and to newly introduced predators. Laughing owls nested on the ground, where they fell prey to cats, rats, goats, and weasels. About 1 foot 3 inches long and brownish in color, they ate rodents, lizards, and insects. A laughing owl sounded like a loud cry, made up of a series of dismal shrieks frequently repeated. This sound gave the laughing owl its name. The dodo is an extinct flightless bird that was endemic to an island of Mauritius, east of Madagascar in the Indian Ocean. The dodo's closest genetic relative was the also extinct Rodrigues solitaire. the two forming the subfamily Raphinae of the family of pigeons and doves. It's commonly believed that the dodo went extinct because Dutch sailors ate the beast into extinction, after finding that the bird was incredibly easy to catch due to the fact that it had no fear of humans. Why it didn't fear the creatures many times its size is a mystery for another day. The actual extinction time of the dodo is 1690, almost 30 years after its most recent sighting. Its last confirmed sighting was in 1662, although an escaped slave claimed to have seen the bird as recently as 1674. Little dodos are still alive, but they are not well. Not much is known about little dodos aside from the fact that they are in peril, clinging to existence in a narrow patch of forest on the island of Samoa with likely fewer than 200 individuals remaining. The Laysan rail, or Laysan crake, was a flightless bird endemic to the northwest Hawaiian islands of Laysan. This small island was and still is an important seabird colony and sustained a number of endemic species including the rail. The species is believed to have become extinct on Laysan during 1923, probably mainly because no habitat for nesting was left in sufficient quantity to maintain the population. The last rail was seen on Eastern Island in Midway in June 1944. The Mauritius blue pigeon is an extinct species of blue pigeon formerly endemic to the Mascarene Islands of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean east of Madagascar. It has 2 extinct relatives from the Mascarenes and 3 extant ones from other islands. It can be concluded that the Mauritius blue pigeon became extinct in the 1830s. Apart from habitat destruction and hunting, introduced predators, mainly crab-eating macaques, were probably also responsible. The New Zealand quail has been extinct since 1875. The male and female were similar, except the female was lighter. The first scientist to describe it was Sir Joseph Banks when he visited New Zealand on James Cook's first voyage. The New Zealand quail became extinct before ship rats, stoats, and ferrets were widespread. But they were exposed to about 100 years of predation by Norway rats and feral cats, as well as vastly increased hunting pressure following the introduction of guns. The native New Zealand quail was uncommon during early European settlement in New Zealand, and considered extinct by 1870. However, quail are still the most common of the introduced upland game birds and are found in both islands. In much of the North Island, quail habitats overlap those of pheasants. The Seychelles parakeet, or Seychelles Island parrot, is an extinct species of parrot that was endemic to the Seychelles group in the Indian Ocean. It resembled the Alexandrine parakeet, but was smaller and lacked the pink color in its collar. The Seychelles parakeet was first recorded in 1811, and it is suspected to have become extinct due to intense persecution by farmers and coconut plantation owners. The species, which was seen as pest and detrimental for the plantations. If everyone made it to the end of this video, I just wanted to say thank you and tell you I appreciate you watching my videos. It's sad that most of these birds have become extinct due to humans. As always, if you want to learn more about birds, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. I'll see you all next time.